Sorry, I was tracking a package, and it says it's supposed to be here today, but it's still in Indianapolis, so I don't believe it.
That seems unlikely. You'll probably get we're so sorry, we don't think we're going to make it at like 10 p.m. tonight when it's still in Indiana.
No, it's USPS. They're not even going to bother telling me.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
It just won't show.
In like a week, it might show up.
Chris, you got the dreaded email in your inbox this past weekend.
Yep.
The dreaded tempt the 2-hour rule email.
Yes, I got the Steam summer sale. I forget what the headline game was. And 8 other items from your wish list are on sale.
Your entire wish list is on sale.
The funny thing about my wish list on Steam right now is that like probably half of it is not stuff that's not even in early access. Like it's all stuff from Summer Game Fest or other things.
Yeah, I think that I like that. I mean, it's the wish list kind of keeps it just on a list somewhere. I don't know. I see it as a little bit of like, I want this and I'm going to buy it maybe if it goes on a deep enough discount. But I also see it as I'm keeping track of these games because there's nowhere really to do them separately. So I don't know. I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have Claire Obscure on my Steam wish list, but I'm not going to buy it on Steam. It's just to keep track of the fact that it's a game I want to play someday.
My what is this? It's not really my white whale, but it's like the game that just keeps coming back and tempting me over and over and over again. Outer Wilds is on sale again.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that later.
Did you play Outer Wilds?
I may have played a little bit of Outer Wilds.
Well, where do you have Outer Wilds? Did you buy it?
I may have bought it.
All right, we're gonna have to talk about that, but we don't have time this episode, so
we might talk about it this episode.
Maybe. All right. I also have Viewfinder on my wish list. That's a puzzle game that I've actually been eyeing quite a bit. And then I don't know if it's gone on this. I have to check if it's been this deep of a discount before, but V Rising is 50% off right now.
Oh.
And I would love to do another V Rising run with a group of people because I didn't get it on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there was recently a major update. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Let's get back into it, everyone.
Yes, I did see that there was a big update, April 28th, 1.1 update for it. So it's on sale for like $17.50 or whatever.
I think so. Let me take it.
Because Humble has it only 20% off, and I think that's just the Humble Choice discount. So
yeah, $17.50.
Wow, that's a good deal for that game.
That's what I thought.
I mean, it's no $15 for Outer Wilds, but you know.
Oh, is there a DLC for this game?
For V Rising?
Do I need the DLC?
No, it's all cosmetic, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Or, I don't know, maybe it adds, maybe the expensive one might add something, but I don't think it adds anything we needed. I think it's all cosmetic.
I don't think I'm going to get through this Steam summer sale without buying something. I don't know what it is going to be, but I think I'm going to buy something.
Well, that's fair, I guess. Are you going to like play the thing you buy?
Yeah. I'll stick to the 2-hour rule. But my thing is like I might buy it and play it, and then I don't know how long I'll play it, but I'll definitely buy it and play it. Viewfinder's the high on my list. It's only $10. It's a puzzle game. Maybe I could play a little bit more on my Rogue Ally. That's kind of what I'm on.
Okay, yeah, that's it looks like a cool game. I've not really paid much attention to it, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks cool.
I really liked Superliminal, and it's giving very Superliminal vibes. That's why I keep looking.
Yeah, that looks nice. I have a whole bunch of stuff on my wish list, but I don't think any of them are really calling to me, and I'm actually going through and removing things from my wish list right now as we're talking, of things that I have come around, I don't know, 5 or 6 times on sale, and I just haven't even thought about buying them, so I'm just taking them off my list.
Proud of you. Good. You got to remove stuff, or else the list will be like 100 things long.
There are actually currently 69 things on my Steam wish list.
Oh my gosh. Nice, but that's too many.
It is a lot. And I need to get rid of a few of them.
Well, okay. Steam summer sale through July 10th. We'll report back. I'll probably buy something. Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. My name is Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 156. Jason, I keep getting messages from you about The Alters, this game that's on Game Pass that was released, I want to say like 3 weeks ago or something, a month ago. What's the deal with this game?
Okay, so this is the one that I said that the initial cinematic trailer does not align with the gameplay whatsoever. Sticking by that statement so far. I have now put about 7.5 hours into the Altars. Let me just say, Game Pass has been amazing for this game because I never would have tried it. But since it was on Game Pass, it was, it's not free, but, barrier to entry really low. Very good. I think we may have mentioned it last episode a little bit, but it's like Fallout Shelter mixed with, I don't know, some third-person resource management thing, along with, I don't want to call it a dating simulator, but there's like a relationship management part of it with your altars. It's just a really, really good story game. And there's a little bit of like base management on top of it, and I've been enjoying it. So you get to like lay out your base and you get to change it. And like they're very generous in that you can, once you make something, you can refund it pretty like almost 100%. Once you make something, you can move it around and like restack your base however you need to like make it all fit. So it's not very like strict in that regard, or maybe I'm playing on normal. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. It's been hitting all the right elements of like story, resource management, base management, and then like enough. It's reminding me a lot. I don't know why. It's reminding me a lot of Mass Effect from a conversation standpoint. But it's deeper than that. There's more to it than just Mass Effect. So it's hitting all of those kind of areas for me, and it's turning out to be a very, very good game.
Huh. Yeah, I would not have thought that you would be a player of this game, but I guess I'm glad that you found it and you like it.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, so I went back and watched the trailer. Again, the original cinematic trailer is the one where the guy wakes up and there's a bunch of like clones of him standing around him. But the launch trailer was more like showed more elements of the base management and the resource management, and that's what got me. I was like, all right, I got to try this, and that's. I don't know. It's turned out to be like the main game mechanic, right? It's story. There's a little bit of conversation, and then like really in the end, it is it's base resource like a task management to survive, essentially. I mean, that's a really gross simplification of what's going on in the story, but that's what's going on, and it's been great. It is. Again, I put about 7.5 hours into it. It's felt like longer, but I say that almost in a good way. It's been weird. Like I get done with it and I'm like, man, I only put 7.5 hours in it. I feel like so much has happened. I feel like I've spent longer with the game. How long to beat has it at about 20 hours. So I guess I'm a little less than halfway. However, I know the last time I saved, I had just gotten the Act 2 title card. So I don't know how many acts there are. I would assume there are at least 3 based on what I'm seeing so far. I have not looked up any spoilers. I have not learned anything, but I just got the Act 2 title card, and I'm going to go back to it again here soon.
Wow. And remind me, did you finish Clair Obscur?
I did not. So,
okay.
No, I want to. I still want to, but I got a little distracted with this game. I don't know. I got a little distracted. I got a little discouraged with Clair Obscur with like how long the game is, and God, this is a much longer conversation. But when games are long, right? I talked about Viewfinder in the pre-show, right? Short game, not very long game. Maybe a couple. It's a puzzle game, not very long. I'm very motivated to go play that because I know I can probably finish it in 2 sittings, right?
Sure.
I'm having trouble with games like The Altar, even The Altars, but The Altars is shorter. Clair Obscur is even longer. And games like God of War, right, that I've been trying to play for literally years at this point. I'm having a really tough time starting to play them, like getting into it. Mm-hmm. But once I'm playing, and I've noticed this recently with The Altars, once I'm playing, I like it. I'm not pulling away from it. I'm not wanting to put it down. So I'm grappling with that a little bit. And what I've started to do, and it is helping, is setting a timer to just say, go do it for this long. And if you want to stop, you can stop. it's really helped me. And I'm setting a timer for 30 minutes. And what I've actually been doing is setting that timer and then every 30 minutes checking in with how I'm feeling. So I just set a 30-minute timer and I on my watch, right? And I just click the little repeat button and it rings again. It keeps me a little grounded with how much time I'm spending with the game, but it also like sets an actual like rhythm or cadence to, are you enjoying what you're actually doing or do you want to put it down? And I have found that almost every time playing the altars, I have said, no, I want to keep playing. I want to keep playing. And I just keep I keep repeating. And typically with the altars, what I have done is put it down at major story beats, kind of like I do with a book.
Okay. Yeah.
Which come every 2-ish hours. So that's been really helping. And I think if I do that system going back to Clair Obscur or maybe trying to do that with God of War, that may help me actually start playing, because that the whole thing that I don't want to do is just get in for 10. I want to say, I need to play for 2 hours, and it's just a much harder commitment for me. So I've said 30 minutes on the watch. I can spare 30 minutes. And like I said, usually I just keep playing.
And then you end up playing 2 hours anyway.
Yeah, yes, but I don't know, it's getting over that hump to say I just need to sit down and start the game. Because okay, so you sit down, oh god, this is we're getting into like social commentary at this point, but you lay down on your bed or you sit down on your couch and you go, I'm just going to scroll for a couple minutes, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to go through Instagram Reels for a couple minutes. Because you know like objectively that you can stop at any time.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? But you don't, because it's addictive.
Right. Yes.
And that's exactly what it's supposed to be, right? And they don't want you to put your phone down. And I have said countless times that I have thanked my girlfriend for coming in and breaking the cycle, like or calling me or whatever, something to break the scroll to the next thing. Because you're objectively only committing to like 2 minutes, right? Or even a minute, right? Those things are very short. They're very short, bite-sized stuff. So like it's really easy to get into, right? It's really easy to lay down. And then 2.5 hours go by. But with a game, my mind says I'm committing to 2 hours, or I'm committing to whatever. I'm committing to this longer period of time of playing. And I have found that has stopped me from doing it when I really wanted to. So I've I don't know, found a way to trick myself, I guess.
I'm the same way with single player games. Like I don't sit down to play single player games all that often because of the perceived time commitment. Like, it's going to be, I really should set aside an entire afternoon if I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII or something like that. Like it's the kind of game that deserves this much time or this much attention or this much whatever. But I will say that like my life at this point doesn't really allow for that very well. So I have to kind of, if I want to play anything, it has to be in bite-sized pieces. So that's where portable stuff really comes in handy, where you can kind of pick it up and put it down. When I was playing a whole bunch of Blueprints, right, it was like, that's only a quick, run of Blueprints. And you can't save and quit on the PC, but you can pause and turn off on the Steam Deck. So that was my big like revelation, is that I could break it a run into several 10-minute play sessions, and that was really nice. I still have that problem though with big story games, because it's like I'm gonna want to experience several story beats or several cutscenes or whatever, and like those are not always nicely spaced. Like sometimes they're pretty far apart. So that's a little bit of a thing that keeps me from jumping back into something like Final Fantasy or whatever. But I get you. Like I understand it. And in practice, it's probably true that like it really doesn't take that long to get to kind of the next little thing, and I should just sit down and do it, especially with things like the PS5 that can load things instantly. So it's not even a commitment to like power up the game. I don't know. I feel you. Like I get it.
You know what really bugs me though is again, this is about tricking my brain into just doing it because I know that I'm going to enjoy it in the end. I don't have this problem with books. I don't have this problem with books, and that drives me nuts because I like to read. I like sci-fi, and the books that I tend to read, Brandon Sanderson, are 1,000+ page books. It takes tens of hours to finish a book, right?
Right.
If you listen to the audiobook, they're 60 or 70 hours long, right?
Eesh.
They're incredibly long books, okay? And I don't have this problem where I can just be like, oh, I'll sit down for 10 minutes and read 2 chapters, or I'll read one, or I'll read a half a chapter, and I'll stop at a point where I think, the flow has stopped. And it can be only 8 minutes, or it can be 10 minutes or whatever. I don't have that problem with books. It drives me nuts that I have that problem with games, because like I know I want to play the game, but there's just this blocker. So I'm happy I've found some way to trick myself, and I'm really starting to use it. I'm really starting to lean into it, and maybe it'll go away if I continue to do this and I just kind of pay attention to it. But I have found that I do like, regardless of whether I get into a game or not, I have found that I really do like some kind of measurable cadence, like to say I want my wrist to buzz every 30 minutes, just to say, hey, you've been playing for 30 minutes, and you keep track a little bit easier of how long you've been playing. So we kind of gotten totally off track about the altars, but I have been doing that with the altars. I have been enjoying it. I have been basically ignoring the 30-minute timer, just resetting it over and over again until I got to a story beat that I wanted to stop. And it's been great.
Nice. I guess I'll have to put that on my list of things to try when I get Game Pass, maybe over the summer.
I think this would be a great mobile game or handheld game too. I think it's built well. Like, I like playing it with mouse and keyboard, and it's probably a little bit better from a base management, but all the menus and everything seem very controller friendly. Okay, Chris, I have not played this game, but I felt the need to bring it up because I listened to a podcast that talked about it, and my girlfriend is going nuts over it. And it seems very good, very funny, and something I would normally not have even touched with a 10-foot pole. But there's a new game called Date Everything. Have you heard of this game?
I think I listened to the same podcast you did, because yes, I have heard of it. Triple Click, yes.
Okay. So I knew about this before I listened to that episode, but it's one of those things where I was like, I'm never going to play this game. And then I'm hearing about it from my girlfriend over and over again about, okay, it's not really a dating simulator. It's kind of more, and there's puzzles, and there's, it's kind of a social commentary, and, there's story to it. And then I listened to this podcast where the guy was like, it put his heart and soul into creating this game, and he was talking about it, and like 100 different voice actors involved. And I was like, okay, God, do I need to play this game called Date Everything? And I think I do, Chris. I think I do.
I had a similar thought where he was talking about how he got all of his voice actor friends to play, like, voice act the game. And I was like, this is not my genre. This is not my thing, but maybe.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I'm actually thinking about that it might be an option on the Switch, which I know we're going to talk about a little later, but the Switch 2, like, it plays on the Switch.
Okay. Yeah, this would be a good one for that. I think so. I am lucking out from Steam Family Library on this one because my girlfriend bought it, and she's almost done with it.
There you go. Remind me, is that the thing where, like, if she's not playing it, you can play it, but then she could still play other things, or does it lock her whole library while you're playing it?
Oh, nope, just one game.
Oh,
we can play one copy of every game that we own, at the same time. If we both own it, we can play 2 copies of it at the same time.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's an incredibly good system. Now, I have found that some games aren't participating in it, but honestly, the list is so tiny that we're surprised when we find one.
Well, lucky you.
So barrier to entry for me is 0 because she already bought it.
Sure. Yeah, I was looking at it on the Switch just to kind of see how it is. But yes, I did listen to that episode, and it did seem pretty crazy.
I don't have a whole lot to say with it because I haven't played it yet, but I did want to throw it out there. If you think, hey, this game is not for me, I would encourage you to go listen to that Triple Click episode. It's literally titled Date Everything. I mean, the interview with the game's creator was so good. And it got me to realize that this game is not what I thought it was.
I'm going to keep an eye on this one. We'll see. We'll see if it maybe you should try it. Let me know if it is if it transcends its genre, like I think it should, like I think it does. And then I will seriously consider it.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you know.
Since you don't have to buy it, I would have to pay for it. So I have a higher bar here.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Although I almost just want to buy it just to support the guy. you know, because it seemed like he was.
I was thinking the same thing.
It was just so earnest on that episode.
Yeah, and he said he poured his life savings into this, like, to get it out the door, and it's been fairly successful, which good. I mean, I hope he gets to make it back, and you know, he believed in the project, and it sounds like it's going very well. But yeah, it was just, man, listening to that episode of that podcast and him talk and that interview, I was like, man, I want to buy it anyway, even though I don't have to.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, let me know.
All right, we've put it off long enough.
Yes, the Switch 2.
We have to talk about the Switch 2.
The Switch 2 has been out for a month at this point, just about 3.5 weeks, I think, as per time of recording. And as we mentioned, we both have one, which is good and a little bit unexpected. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do top line impressions or like get into it, or what do you want to do?
I honestly, I don't know. I'm going to let you lead this one, and I'm just maybe going to fill in where I want to fill in. I will be, maybe at the top. Yes, I have one. Yes, we've played it together. But I think I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you have a lot more experience with this console than I do.
Okay. All right. Yes. So I recently just took a rather long trip for work, and I took only the Switch 2 with me. I did consider bringing the Steam Deck also, and I took only the Switch. I will say I did not play it as much as I might have thought I would have. But part of that was my schedule. Part of that was the hours I was keeping with the work trip and stuff. But also I watched a lot of TV. Like I watched like the whole second season of Andor while I was traveling. And
nice. Very good.
Exactly. Like I did other stuff, but like I didn't sit down and play the Switch though, because I was doing that. So I didn't spend nearly as much time playing it as I guess I thought I might. But I just, played it a little bit on the plane, and that was nice. And it is much nicer kind of as a plain option than the Switch 1 was because of the top USB port. So that's nice. Because you can
tiny
plug
little
it in.
feature. Yeah.
Yeah. You can actually plug it in and charge while you're playing it when it's sitting on a tray table and you're using a wireless controller.
I will say, from a hardware perspective, good console. I'm happy with it. It's bigger. I like the screen. I like that the controls are bigger. The magnetic attachment is something we've talked about on the show that we were a little worried about. Been totally cool from my point of view. I mean, really, good. I'm generally happy with the hardware.
Yes, I am also happy with the hardware as it stands. The one thing I don't like about it is the grippiness of the Joy-Con, right? That's the problem with the handheld. Like, it's so flat and it has no curve to it. I had to get some little rubber grip things to go around the Joy-Con to take it with me. And that makes it so much better than just the kind of skinny, flat Joy-Con.
Yeah, I agree. I've also heard, and this is kind of weird, but I've heard that people are popping the kickstand in the back and putting their pinkies under it.
Oh, interesting.
Because then you're kind of it's kind of being supported as almost like hooked onto your hands. Huh. And then you don't have to hold it with your fingers. Like, you don't have to curl your fingers around it because it's not sliding down because your pinky is under the kickstand. So and I have tried that and I go, oh yeah, I could totally play it without larger grips with my pinkies under the kickstand. So that's been kind of weird. Not an intended feature of that kickstand, but yes, I think if that kickstand wasn't there, I would totally need larger handheld grips on this thing.
Yeah, and before we get feedback about it, I will say I did actually buy a dbrand Kill Switch 2 case, right, which is the thing that dbrand did. I have not put it onto my Switch yet because it came a couple days after I left for my trip. So I have not had a chance to put it on, but I know that from Reddit that they are not everyone's favorite for the moment because they put their tolerances too tight and it makes at least the right Joy-Con fall off when you have it all fully decked out with the Kill Switch case. So I haven't tried to do that yet. dbrand insists that it's some manufacturing defect of one particular batch and that they're going to replace it for the people that are affected and all that stuff. But people are very mad at them right now.
Yeah, dbrand's usually pretty good about replacing that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that it all works out.
I think it'll be fine in the end. I need to get mine like tried so that I can submit it if it needs help. But I'm also not the kind of person that is, I don't know, so quick to be up in arms about something, but it is not a cheap case. So like I get it, but also it is something that they did basically sight unseen. So I give them a little bit of credit as long as they fix it.
Right.
Which I think they will, based on their previous experience with other cases like this, where they're trying to get something out essentially on launch day, which they did for this. They didn't get it on launch day, but they got it within the launch month, which meant that they had to have already made them all before launch day. So I give them a little bit of grace for that.
I've seen the case. If I played this more, that's the case I would get.
Yeah, I got I did the full, like, the decked out one with like the little cover and all this stuff. Like it's pretty nice. Like, at least just by holding it, again, not putting it on the Switch yet, but like it seems like it's a pretty good option. So I am looking forward to getting it on there because I do want a fitted case for the Switch 2, and that seems like a good choice. Should we talk about some games?
Yeah, remind me, did you get the Mario Kart bundled or did you buy them separately?
I got the bundle.
So you got the little tiny slip of paper that you could possibly lose with the entire Mario Kart game on it.
Correct. Yes, I did get the tiny little slip of paper. Yes.
I guess I didn't realize that it wasn't coming with a physical game, but I mean, honestly, at the end, I don't really care. But okay. I guess I was a little surprised it didn't have a game card with it. But that's I don't know. I'm happy it doesn't, because now I don't have to keep that game card.
Sure. Yeah. I have used a few game cards for my Switch 1 because, like, I have Mario Odyssey on Switch 1 game card. And so I have that one, I think, semi-permanently inserted into the Switch 2 at this point, like it was in the Switch 1. But I'm happy to have this one in download form. It was interesting because I saw pictures, again, on Reddit or online somewhere, of people that had gotten it where the box had the, like, Mario Kart art, like, printed onto it. And I think most of the boxes that I saw, like, other pictures of, and like one I got, and I'm assuming the one you got, had just like a little round sticker that just said includes Mario Kart. So it's kind of as if they kind of afterthought converted a bunch of non-Mario Kart into Mario Kart versions of the bundle. Yeah,
I wonder if they like underestimate. I mean, again, that was the way to buy the Switch.
Absolutely. Well, because it was $450 with no game, or $500 with a $80 game packed in. So it was a $30 savings on Mario Kart, which you're going to buy Mario Kart eventually, and it never goes on sale anyway. So that was the way to buy it.
Right. Totally agree. So we've both played Mario Kart.
Yes.
We've both played it independently, and we've both played it together with each other.
Yes. Did you do all of the cups, all the Grand Prix?
I have not. I'll be totally honest with you. 100%. Here we're getting ready for the honesty here. I played it for about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before playing it with you the day after launch day. I think it was that Friday.
Yep.
And then you and I played together for an hour-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Have not touched it since.
Okay. That's fine.
I enjoyed Mario Kart. I don't think I enjoyed it more than Mario Kart 8. Probably even a little less than Mario Kart 8. Really, I'm not really jiving with the open world stuff. Not really my thing, I guess. Maybe if I was stuck on a plane, it'd be a lot of fun, because it really is kind of a time waster, and the challenges are fine. But I don't know that I care for the connecting paths between the races. I just don't know that I care for that.
I think I'm with you there. I don't like that most of the races are the connecting paths. Like, it almost seems like there needs to be an option to not have as many or any connecting paths, or something, like maybe make that like an online lobby waiting for people to join kind of a thing, or only use it in Knockout Tour or something. But
yeah, Knockout Tour makes sense. I like that.
Like that's what it's for. Like, that's what it should be for. And that's what I maybe would have expected it was for, is that like the connecting paths was only for Knockout Tour. But it's not. Like, that is most of the Grand Prix, which is kind of a shame.
Right.
I will, I don't know, say that I would recommend that you do all the Grand Prix so you can at least get to Rainbow Road. Because the Rainbow Road in this game is very, very good. And that's like a minor spoiler, because it's not on the screen when you first boot the game, but like, it's a Mario Kart, there's a Rainbow Road. So the Rainbow Road in this game is pretty good. So I would maybe get back into it enough to do that, and then you can put it down forever.
I was making my way through the Grand Prix. That's the way I play Mario Kart, is I try to, 3 trophy every Grand Prix. So I was making my way through. I typically play Mario Kart on a Switch on the plane. That's what I do. That's my thing. I don't know. It's just the way it's always been. I played all of the Mario Kart I ever played on the Switch 1. 90% of it was on a plane. So I have not been on a plane since the Switch 2 came out. So that's, I don't know. And I'm sure I'll play it more. I've been struggling with my purchase of the Switch a lot, just because I bought it, I spent the money on it, and I kind of regretted it. Like I didn't need it right away, and I didn't really enjoy Mario Kart very much, and I kind of got that like almost like regret, like that buyer's remorse on it. Mm-hmm. But I have been listening to a lot of people's review of the Switch, and they've been encouraging me by reminding me that it is an investment, right? It's an investment in entertainment over the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah. I had my Switch 1 for a very long time. I have my Switch 2 now. There are going to be games that I want to buy for the Switch. I'm highly anticipating another 3D Mario. I really enjoyed Mario Odyssey. So I'm waiting for those things. I definitely didn't need it right away. But you can already see that this is a better console by far. Like that was obvious, but having it and seeing it and playing the games, I was like, okay, they can do a lot more with it. So I'm excited for what comes, but I really don't think I needed to buy it when I did.
I understand what you're saying, but also nobody knew that it was going to be as easy to get as it has been, I guess I'll say. And also there are other kind of, I guess, geopolitical things that may make it more difficult to get one.
Yeah, I agree.
In the future. So like that was where what I'm telling myself of the like, did I need this on day one? Maybe not, because there really isn't much of a launch lineup other than Mario Kart. But they've said that the Mario Kart bundle is a limited time thing, which could be limited time for 3 years. Who knows? But like if it is only this season, like I'm happy that I got it now as opposed to having to buy Mario Kart for $80 down the road, is one kind of advantage. And then another is like, you don't know, like Sony has increased the price of their consoles everywhere except the US once or twice this generation. Like I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to increase the price of their stuff if they needed to maintain whatever profit margin they have. So I kind of was like, let's jump in here because it's probably not going to go cheaper from here. And the one case would be a Switch 2 Pro, like our Switch 2 OLED, right? That would have been maybe a case to wait. But who knows when that's going to come? And there's probably going to be at least one game you want to play before that comes out anyway. So it's just, I'm counting it as, like you said, an investment of, if you want to play Nintendo games, you have to have the Nintendo thing. So here's the Nintendo thing.
Yes, that's where I'm at. I mean, I knew I was going to get one eventually. And that's why I said I was playing it chill, not worried too much. And then it was just so easy to get it on launch day, or close to launch day, one day after in my case, that I did it. And, I haven't touched it since, but I know there will be a point at which I'm saying, oh, I'm going to buy that game, and I already have a Switch 2. Right.
Then that decision's made. You're good. I will say briefly before we move on to other games that we played Mario Kart together. We played online using GameChat, which is the Nintendo like Discord thing, kind of. It was not bad. Like,
it was surprisingly good, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Like, compared to the Switch 1 online experience and then anything before that's online experience, oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like how well it worked and how competent, I would say, that the chat was. Because I was doing the thing where I was sitting on my couch, playing on my TV with the Switch across the room, and we were talking like on the Switch game chat. Like we weren't on Discord on our phones like you would have to be on the Switch 1 when you're like going to somebody's Animal Crossing island. Like we were just playing the game on the console and doing the chat thing, and it came through well for me. And I think you said that I sounded okay for you.
Oh, you sounded great for the situation that you were in.
Yeah, so like it was very, very competent. And then we tried the like screen sharing thing, which was low frame rate as advertised, but like it worked. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, low frame rate, but low latency. It worked well enough to like, oh, I'm over here, you see this. I thought it was good. I was surprised with how good the experience was. Now, would I pay for it? No. But if it's included in online, sure. Like, okay.
I think it's included in the base level, the $20 a year online thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good enough feature for that. I mean, I think it puts them at parity for, Xbox and PlayStation for party and party chat and all of that those consoles have had for a while. But I think it puts them right there. And I think they did I don't know if, how or why or whatever, but they did a really nice job with the microphone on the Switch from across the room. And it's perfect for what it is. I have invested a little bit of money to make my Switch situation a little better. Now, I don't play in front of a TV, but I wanted to play on my computer. And my PlayStation does the PlayStation Play Anywhere. That's not what it's called, but
Remote
it's
Play,
the Remote Play. Thank you. Where you can play on any, you literally stream it. And I said, man, I really want to play my Switch, like sitting at my computer. And what I did when I was playing with you is I plugged my headset into the Switch, and then I plugged the Switch HDMI into one of my monitors. But as you know, that takes over the whole monitor and whatever. So I actually bought like a $20 capture card on Amazon. And now my Switch is plugged into a capture card that now goes into, essentially a window in my on my computer. And it works great. I've played Switch on my computer. I've tried it out. I think I did a Grand Prix on there. It's basically just a computer game now on my Switch. I will move it to a TV, I'm sure. And I will play, when it's time to play with others, I will do that. But it works out really nicely, and I like that setup. I can be on Discord. I can have a Chrome window open, all that good stuff while playing my Switch. So, and I don't have to move my headset around. So it's been a good experience to play that way.
I have done that before with the Switch 1. Because I have like a little like third-party knockoff dock that's connected to like a cheap little capture card. And I don't know if you remember, but like I streamed Super Mario Wonder to Discord at one point, which was pretty cool to be able to do that from the Switch console. And then I would play it on my own screen as well. I would do that here, except that I want my Switch 2 dock to be attached to my good TV. And there's nothing out there right now other than the official dock that can do the Switch 2. Get video out of the Switch 2, so I can't cheat and like use some other smaller thing than the Switch 2 dock. So I'm waiting for all of the kind of third-party people to catch up with the video protocols or whatever it is that the Switch 2 uses to be able to get a different dock to put on my computer.
Have you seen, speaking of playing with other people and on a TV, like you have it on your TV, have you seen that like some of the accessories have been going on clearance?
Some of the Switch 2 accessories?
Yeah.
Really?
I've seen some Pro controllers. I've seen some Joy-Cons, and I've seen the stupid $50 cameras.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's been pictures on Reddit. I think like Walmart maybe had too much stock of the accessories. No one bought. I mean, we talked about it on the show. No one was going to buy the accessories for the prices that they were at. Like,
sure.
They just had too many. I have been trying to find a Switch 2 Pro controller at clearance rates.
Huh. I have one. I bought one using, I don't know, credit card points or something. And I highly recommend it. It's very good.
Is it worth upgrading from the Switch 1 Pro controller?
It feels nicer than the Switch 1 Pro controller. I don't know for you if it's worth it. It is something to note is that it is the only way that you can turn on the Switch 2 remotely, like from across the room, because the Switch 1 Pro controller can't do that because of some hardware limitation. The grip buttons are nice-ish. It does feel better. The rumble is a little bit better. It has like a soft touch thing as far as opposed to the like more smooth plastic that my Pro controller has. So that's been nice. I don't know that it's worth it, again, especially if you're not going to play it all that much, but like, and if you're going to have your Switch on your desk where you can just push the power button to turn it on. But the experience is nicer.
Okay. I mean, I think if I find one on clearance or for a steep discount, then I might pick it up. But the Switch 1 controller has worked fine. It's not great. It's not perfect. And it's old, but it's worked fine.
Yeah, I think my thing was that like Best Buy sent me like a $10 coupon or whatever, and then also I had some the ability to get some gift cards through credit card points. So I essentially got mine for free. Speaking of Switch 1 things playing on the Switch 2, part of the Switch 2 launch, I took the advantage to upgrade to the expansion pack Nintendo Switch Online thing. Just because, you know, the new console was out and it lets you play the GameCube emulated games on the Switch 2, which is something I wanted to kind of just see what it was like and whatever. But it also comes with the Switch 2 edition upgrades for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which I got from the eShop. Yeah, so you can just go grab those. They're normally $10 a piece on the eShop, but like if you have the expansion thing, they are free as long as you have the subscription. So like you lose access if you don't have the subscription anymore. So just be aware of that. But I'm pretty sure you have the expansion thing because of the bundle that you got from wherever. So you could give it a try.
Yeah, I got it came with the bundle from Costco. I don't actually own Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Never bought it. Never finished Breath of the Wild, and I don't own it.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, but you can still play Breath of the Wild.
I would try Breath of the Wild. I would love to try it side by side or watch like someone play it on the Switch 1 and then play it on the Switch 2 and be like, oh my God.
It is night and day. Like even what you could do is you could play it on your Switch 2 without having the upgrade, like without buying the upgrade or whatever. Like, cause you have to go in the store and like buy it for free. But like you could do that on the same Switch 2 system, which is what I did, and then you boot it up again with the Switch 2 edition and like just marvel at how smoothly it runs, even though it's the same like game. It just, the upgrade actually really, really makes a difference.
Okay. I mean, I would try that. I didn't get into Breath of the Wild, but I would try it again. Especially now that I've seen a lot of other people play it. I wasn't super into the creative stuff. I wasn't into the super like your weapons break and you have to upgrade them and all that.
Oh, that's still no good.
I might. I know, but I think I might get past it now that I understand what was intended. Like I've had a long time to hear a lot about the game.
Sure.
And I see where it went, right, with Tears of the Kingdom. And I know they're not the same, but I get it a little bit more. Like I feel like I might, I know there's no intended way to play, but I feel like I get the intention a little bit more, which may make it a little bit more fun. I feel like I was fighting the grain when I first played Breath of the Wild, and I would, if I went back to it, I would try to do it differently. And it would be cool for it to be, you know, modern.
Yeah, it definitely makes the difference. Like it makes it so that it's you don't find yourself struggling over the, man, I can't believe how chugging this frame rate is. Like, you know, you don't kind of have those experiences because everything is pretty smooth. Like it's, I don't know if it's locked 30 or locked 60, but whatever it is, it's locked, which makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a difference. So have you played both? You've played Breath and Tears?
I booted them both up, although I've spent more time in Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, like my save is like at the very end and I forgot how to play the game. So I feel like I would have to like start over almost in Tears of the Kingdom, which some people I've seen online have enjoyed doing that. They've said that they've just like taken this as an opportunity to redo the whole thing, which I get it. Like it seems kind of cool. But Breath of the Wild, I am less confused at, I guess I'll say. Like I understand where I am in the game, which is also at the end. Like I did beat both, but like there's just a lot of extra mechanics that kind of wind up in the last like 15% of Tears of the Kingdom that I just forgot.
I feel like Breath of the Wild is a simpler game.
That is true. It is a simpler game. That's also true. So, you know, Breath of the Wild, I kind of do want to start a new fresh game just to do the first like 3 hours. Cause like that first tutorial island or whatever. And like all that stuff. Like I think that would be really cool to play in modern HD kind of a thing. Not that I've done it, but thinking about it. But I've played it a little bit, and I'll say if you do go back to Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, get the Nintendo Switch app and do the Zelda Notes thing, the little app within the app that they have for Zelda Notes. I don't know if it syncs with Bluetooth. I think it might. I don't know if it's Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. But anyway, it basically syncs up with your running game onto your phone, and then you get a little map on your phone that interactively updates, like live updates with your position in the game. And you can tell it if you want spoilers or not, and you can have it show me all the shrines, like show me where all the shrines are, so that you can kind of know how close you are to them and stuff, and be able to like know all that kind of thing. And it hides the ones you've already been to, so like it can show only the ones you haven't been to, which is really handy if you don't know where they are and all that good stuff. It to me makes it more interesting to play. I know some purists are like, oh no, you got to explore and discover everything for yourself. It's like, if you want Zelda Breath of the Wild to be an Ubisoft game with a map with checkboxes on it, this is how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly appealing to me. I get it. Yeah, I understand that the purists don't, but yeah, I'm just too old for that.
Exactly.
So yeah, okay, all right. I totally forgot about that. I remember that they announced that now, but I had totally forgotten.
So yeah, if you go back to it, I would highly recommend going through the effort of having the Switch app and linking up your phone. There's other stuff you can do with it that I didn't really pay any attention to. There's stuff like you get like voice memories or whatever in the game when you go to certain places and stuff. That's all like extra story if you want it. There's some kind of like random game drop or something you get where you can like randomly, I don't know, get a power up, and one of the power ups is all of your weapons durability is reset to 100%, which is nice.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, so stuff like that's extra, but the map is really the thing that did it for me. And it says it can give you voice directions, which I have not tried, but you can get like a little GPS for your Zelda.
That might be too far.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I would like a map.
The map is really nice. I don't know if you can run that. I don't think that app runs on an iPad, but it would be really nice to have a little iPad with the map on it. Instead of a phone. That would be really handy. So anyway, I endorse the Switch 2 editions of Breath of the Wild and to some degree Tears of the Kingdom. I have also been playing a couple of other like Switch 1 games on the Switch 2. Most notably Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which is the one where you play as Princess Zelda, which is run in the same engine as Link's Awakening. This game had very, very poor frame rates on the Switch 1 because it had a lot of stuff going on, and there was a little bit of that kind of creativity where you could like spawn stuff, like spawn items and enemies and stuff. It chugged a little bit on the Switch 1. It does not chug at all on the Switch 2. It runs very well, and I think it had a little patch to kind of improve its performance on the Switch 2. But whatever it was, they did a good job, and it runs really, really well on the Switch 2.
Have you been finding that you are enjoying it more now? Because I remember that one of their complaints of this game is that you did not enjoy it.
That's true. I mean, I have enjoyed it a little bit more. I played a little bit more of it. I'm kind of more into it now. I'm starting to understand some of the puzzles and stuff. It feels a little bit better now that it is running better. Like, I know that wasn't the primary reason for my lack of enjoyment with it, but it helps to not have like, oh, I don't really jive with this game style, and also it runs poorly on this game. So
right.
When you take away one of those things, then the style, you can kind of give it more of a chance, because you're not like, ugh, every time I push this button, it drops frames because it's creating a new item or whatever. Like, now at least the creating the item works, and so I don't have to kind of roll my eyes and be like, well, that was a expensive button press because it screwed up my timing or screwed up it made me frustrated or whatever. So I don't have that as much anymore. So it's better in that regard, and so I think it's worth it. But jury's still out. I still haven't like gotten really far into that game.
I'm looking ahead, and I'm seeing the other one you're about to talk about. Yeah.
So as is tradition, I went on a trip, and before I went on my trip, I was like, I'm going to get a new game for my trip. And the game that I bought on my trip was on sale on the Nintendo eShop, and I had some Nintendo eShop money. So I bought Outer Wilds for the Switch 1 to play on my Switch 2.
Okay. Tell me it's amazing. Go ahead.
That's actually not what I have to say about it at the moment.
Okay. All right. Good. Because otherwise I think we would have had to end the podcast and I would have had to go buy it.
Well, part of it is it does not run really well on the Switch 2. Like
okay.
It runs okay. Like, and I guess it doesn't drop frames too badly, but like it does drop some frames. Like, it's not optimized for Switch 2. And the rendering quality, like the polygon count is pretty low. because it's a Switch 1 game and it's playing on the Switch 2 for me. Now, if you bought it on PC and you played it on your 5080 or whatever, like I'm sure it would look great and that would be not a complaint or a problem. But I thought that the kind of raw hardware of the Switch 2 would be able to overcome any lagginess or issues with the Switch 1. And I did a little bit of research, and like people on Reddit were like, yeah, you know, it runs better. And I was like, oh, if this is better, I don't know if I want to know what it was on the Switch 1. But
yeah,
it is not like unplayable, but it is also not great.
Okay.
But it's like a big game. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in it, and I understand that, like, I get it. But it's enough that I had like thought about, I looked on Game Pass to see if it was still there, which it's not. And I did see it on the Steam sale, and I was like, oof, man, if I really wanted to play this game, would I want to rebuy it on PC?
Yeah. I mean, maybe there'll be an update that comes out that makes it even better.
That would be nice. Although I don't know if it's worth it to the publisher to put the effort into it, but maybe.
Would you pay a couple more dollars for a Switch 2 upgrade?
Yes, I think I would. I would pay $5 or whatever for a Switch 2 upgrade.
Okay.
I don't know if I would pay 10 for a $25 game, but I'd probably pay 5.
Okay, so past that, did you play? I mean, like, do you have any comments on the content of the game?
It's definitely a time loopy puzzle game, which you probably already know. And I want to play more of it. Like, I want to see what else, like, see if I can get into solving some puzzles. And it seems to have like a decent journal system where it kind of helps keep track of what you've seen, so you don't have to keep a notebook, which is nice.
Do you have any idea what the mystery is, or can you say any of it without spoiling anything?
I mean, sure, because I haven't done anything with it, so I don't have anything to spoil.
Okay.
I played it for maybe not even an hour. Like I think I played it for like a loop and a half. Like it was not a lot on my end. And the loops are 22 minutes long, I think. So I really haven't gotten into it at all. Like there's like this alien race that like you discover artifacts from and stuff, and you're trying to kind of figure out what their deal is. And I've been to a couple of the planets in the little solar system. Although navigation, like flying around, is tricky, and I don't know if that would be better off the Switch. Like I think it might still be tricky because it's like a fully like 6 degree of freedom kind of steering system, I guess I'll say. Like you have like little retro thrusters and stuff, and like you have to like activate them, you know, front and back and up and down and left and right and whatever. So the steering is a little bit tricky. So that in combined with kind of the technical stuff on the Switch has not led me to be very proficient at getting around. So I'm not there yet. I'm not at the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to play this. I see why it won Game of the Year, because I don't yet. It's also just, at least on the Switch, not voice acted. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's not voice acted at all. So that's
I don't think it is anywhere. Yeah, that's one of the things that has been holding me back a little bit. But I'm gonna get over that eventually.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would use that as a reason not to do it, but it is just a fact. It's not voice acted. The music is really good. The music is nice, but I haven't played it all that much. That was one where I set the Switch 2 on the kickstand on an airplane tray table, and then I detached the Joy-Cons and I played with them like one in each hand. And that worked out pretty well. The bigger screen on the Switch helps for that quite a bit when you're playing on a plane.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about it. We got the Steam sale going on. I'm now that you've played it and you said, yeah, puzzly, like, do I get that instead of Viewfinder? I don't know. Oh man. All right, fine. I'm not going to buy it on the Switch, but
no, don't. I would recommend not buying it on the Switch. Like if there was an easy way to refund it on the Switch, I might refund it on the Switch and buy it so I can play it on the Steam Deck. Like I want to play it handheld, but I do not want to play it on the Switch.
Okay.
One game that I haven't played on the Switch 2 because nobody has played it on the Switch 2 yet, but that I was originally not at all interested in at all, and now am slightly interested in, is Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is the other kind of launch title-ish for the Switch 2 that's coming out July 17th or something like that.
Okay, so what has changed your mind? Because when we talked about it last episode, like in 2 seconds, or maybe it was 2 episodes ago when it was announced, you were kind of like, maybe not. And are you flipping here? Have you learned something since?
Yeah, so they did a big like 20-minute Nintendo Direct on Donkey Kong Bonanza only, like where they showed all of the like mechanics and stuff. And they also revealed that Pauline is going to be kind of a sidekick character to Donkey Kong. So like you have Donkey Kong with kind of Pauline on his shoulder, which is weird because like in the original game, like she was prisoner and you were playing as Mario to try to get Pauline rescued. But whatever. Now I guess they're friends.
Donkey Kong's a good guy now, didn't you know?
Right. Sorry. I've seen the movie. It's fine. Anyway, but yes, they also revealed that like her whole thing is that she's a singer and she wants to sing for people and stuff. And so there's like a little bit of a music aspect to it, which is kind of cool. The other thing is they showed more gameplay footage of like going between the different like worlds and stuff, and how you have these, I think they're coins or maybe they're like banana gems or something. I forget what they are. Whatever the MacGuffin is, right? They have a system like Super Mario Sunshine and like Super Mario Odyssey where the levels have like little trackers of like, you've got all of the things. And
okay.
So it looks like Mario Odyssey, and there's all these rumors that they split the Mario Odyssey team in two so that they could make this DK game and whatever the next Mario is. So like you can kind of see those influences there. I don't know. I would recommend that you take a look at that direct or find a summary of it or whatever. It makes the game look more like a game that I would play and less of just a kind of tech demo kids game that where you can destroy all of the world.
Right.
So that's why it's appealing to me, and that's what's kind of changed my mind.
Okay. All right. I'll have to go find that direct. I would be excited for a game that is new and first party and is a reason to have the Switch. So I'm going to go look, and I'm going to be hopeful. I also like the Pauline character. I mean, when you said, "Oh, she's trying to be a singer," and I guess that's something she's doing now, I had to go look it up. But I was like, Pauline's the one that sings "Jump Up Superstar," isn't
Correct.
she?
Yes,
and
she
I was
is.
right. She's the one that sings it. So that tracks. And if she's doing more of that kind of stuff in this game, that might be a reason for me to gravitate towards it as well.
Yeah, it's good. I would say definitely take a look at the direct. It's only 17 minutes long, 17 and a half minutes long.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. So to summarize, and I said it at the middle, and I'm going to say it again. The Switch 2 is a good piece of hardware. I think it's a good piece of hardware. I'm a little, I don't know. I got into it too early, maybe. And I think we knew that going in. The launch lineup, it didn't really have a launch lineup. It had a launch single game.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think part of my disappointment is that I don't love what they did with Mario Kart. I really liked Mario Kart 8. And I'm not super jiving with Mario Kart World. So it's an investment. The Switch 2 is an investment in the future of gaming entertainment for me over the next 5 to 7 to 10 years, depending on how long this console lasts. And I'm going to have to look at it that way, because otherwise if I look at it any other way, I wouldn't be happy with the purchase. But I do think I'm going to find games that I like, and I'm going to be happy that I have it. I'm just not there right now.
Yep. I think that's a fair way to look at it.
I want to know more about your D-brand case, though. You gotta give me updates on that.
All right. Well, I got a screen protector with it too. So like it's going to be a process to install it, to like put it all together. So that's why I haven't done it yet, because it's going to take like 45 minutes to put it all together. But I will let you know.
I do have to do my duty, Chris. It is my duty to inform the listeners of Pride and Accomplishment that there has been a Warframe update.
Oh gosh.
It's a story update. It's not a big one. It's a tiny one. They've been getting into a rhythm where they do kind of a big one like once or twice a year, and then 2 tiny ones in between, a tiny one in between each of those. So the pace has been pretty good. It continues a little bit of the story that we already have. I'm happy for that, because I feel like I didn't get as much story as I wanted in the last major update, so that's good. There's a new Warframe, and I think that's what I've talked a lot about the altars. I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time in Warframe this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So now I know you're not interested in that, and I don't think anyone that listens to the show, but gosh darn it, it happened, it got an update, and I have to tell everyone, and that's where I'll be for a little bit. So Warframe's still a great game. I've been coming back to it regularly, more regularly than I have in the past, and I haven't been afraid to get into it for 2 weeks and then step away from it when the next, until the next update. So it's been a good rhythm for me, and I've been enjoying it. So Warframe's still a great game, free to play. Go play.
Ninjas play free, right?
God, wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing to be sponsored by Warframe?
Dear goodness. I'm pretty sure that Warframe runs on the Switch too, I think.
Yes. Well, it runs on the Switch 1, so I would hope so.
There you go.
It also runs on your phone. Well, that's just wild to me. So cool.
Too much.
How long until World of Warcraft can run on your phone?
Good question. I don't know.
Have you played any more Fortnite on your phone?
No, I've played it like once. Like, no.
Okay. All right. Well,
it was fine.
I tried.
It worked. I played it on the Backbone. It was fine. But I took the Backbone with me on my trip. I did not use it at all.
Well, it's so small. It collapses really nice. So, okay. I have to go start my timer. I have to go start my 30-minute timer, pick something to do and start my 30-minute timer. That's what I'm going to be doing. If you would like to get in contact with us to tell us what you're playing, or if you have, again, I'm always looking for people that have different opinions than I do. And this time, talking about the Switch 2, right? What am I missing? What is there something that we didn't pay attention to? Do you have stronger feelings than I do about the launch? Those are the kind of conversations that I'm interested in, and you can get in contact with us and let us know what you think by joining our Discord, which you can get to at discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time. Hot on the heels of the Steam summer sale email, or maybe just before, I forget, there was another much less exciting, much less tempting email in our inboxes that came from our friends at Humble Bundle.
At Humble, we have been loyal Humble monthly Humble Choice subscribers since, God, 2017 maybe?
Like 8 years. Yeah, something like that.
And in all of that time, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember it. In all of that time, they have never raised the price of existing subscribers.
I think they did it once.
Well, I know they did their thing where they split it out into multiple tiers, but then they left existing subscribers on the legacy plan, which was the cheapest of all the tiers or close to, and got the best benefits. But I don't remember them ever raising the price.
I think they went from $99 to $119 or $129. And now they're going to what, $150, $155, something like that.
Yeah, they're going to $15 a month or $155 per year.
Yeah, so a relatively significant up price. We have our annuals around the turn of the year, right? Around the new year. I tend to be trying to buy the gift promo around Christmas or Black Friday time. And I've gotten that for about $100, maybe $110 the last couple of years since they did that price raise. But this feels very pricey.
Yeah, this really has me thinking about it. $150. I have played, I think, 2 Humble games this year. I do like how it continues to grow my library, but I'm seeing less and less value in it overall. And now with the price going up, man, we've been subscribers for so long, but I just don't know that it's worth $155.
Well, at these prices, I'm looking at it and thinking maybe I would rather skip Humble and do Xbox Game Pass for me.
Yeah, good point.
Do it as a swap.
The other thing, Chris, and we haven't talked about this on the show, and I'm interested. You used to not be able to subscribe after the fact.
That's true. It was a blind box. It was a random, you didn't know what you were going to get.
It was a blind box. And now you can subscribe that month and get that month's games. I'm wondering if this becomes more of a pick and choose the months that you want.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, the other thing you can do that we don't do is you can pause your existing subscription on months that you don't want, I think.
Yeah, you can. I think you lose the 20% on that.
You do,
the 20% discount. But honestly, I went back and looked at how much I've saved on the 20% in the last year. I think I've saved $10 or $15, which is not nothing.
Sure.
But it's only 1 month.
Right. It's 1 month's worth. Yeah. Well, and even if you only have 1 month worth of Humble active, it's 10% discount still.
Okay. All right. So that's still something there. I might have to look more into pausing than I have in the past. Maybe I'll try it for one more year with the pausing method. But at the same time, I'm thinking, why not just subscribe 1 month at a time for the stuff you actually care about?
Yeah. You could come out better if you saved your $150 or whatever for Steam sales and put stuff on your wish list and then bought the stuff you wanted to, I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is a direct violation of the 2-hour rule. It's us, paying for games blindly.
Pre-buying games we don't know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, if we said, hey, you're allowed to subscribe to any month you want, we're still better off than we are now. I mean, I'm a huge advocate of pausing your World of Warcraft subscription the moment you subscribe and having to, deliberately resubscribe the next month. I feel like I'm violating some of my values here by continuing to subscribe to Humble Choice.
Oh dear.
And I would have never thought about it if they didn't raise the price. I don't know. I also subscribe to Dropout, the
YouTube people.
Yeah, but they're the comedy shows and improv and but they have their own streaming service now, and I subscribe to that, and they recently did a price hike. But anyone that is already subscribed just stays at the old price. And they say if you ever leave and come back, obviously you'd be at the new price. But if you just stay subscribed forever, you're never going to have a price increase.
Mm-hmm.
I may have been considering something different if Humble Bundle said, hey, we're raising our price for new people, but existing customers are staying the same. I would have been like, oh, okay, no change, whatever, just keep going. But now that they've raised the price for me for existing when we renew in December timeframe, I don't know. I think this might be the last year for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and like I said, especially for me, like the trade-off between that and Game Pass, I think Game Pass will provide more value for me going forward than Humble has in the past.
Game Pass is cheaper. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, that is crazy.
I mean, I guess you don't own your games. You don't own them.
Yeah. And it's only a matter of time before they increase their prices too.
That's true. But I don't know. We're going to have to revisit this conversation in December. I mean, because we're both up in December for this. So
yeah, we'll see. I'm disappointed, but that's life, I guess. Maybe they'll do something really good in December. Maybe they'll have some amazing game to remind us why it's valuable to have a Humble Choice subscription.
Well, or if they did the discount where it's $100 a year again, I would probably do another $100, because that wouldn't be a price increase. But I missed it last year. You got it, and I missed it. So if it comes up, you got to tell me.
All right, I will tell you. I'm pretty sure I told you last year.
Yeah, it's probably my fault.